It feels like we're 7 inches from the midday sun here on the Isthmus in Madison, Wisconsin. It is hot, and that is appropriate for the matchup we have here today at Breese Stevens Field between the 6-4 Chicago Union and the 6-4 home team Madison Radicals. Hello, everyone. I am Adam Ruffner, and I'm joined by a very special guest in the booth here tonight, blowing in from Windy City himself, Chris Pennant, longtime Chicago analyst, PA, and recent broadcast edition for the Union. Chris, we've got a fantastic matchup here tonight in the Central Division. Ostensibly the 2 seed and a home game playoff matchup. Pristine white kits for their first offensive possession here. Dremin take the first centering pass and get it up quickly to John Lithiow. It's been so central in this first season with Chicago. They're finding a streaking Wilson Matthews, really putting on the Jets to track that down. And an early fast break opportunity for the Union, picking right back up where they left off last weekend, scoring 25 in Minnesota against the reigning division champion Shanahan, getting Wilson Matthews quickly for the opening score. Ooh, and a miscommunication there between Lithiow and Dremin gives the Radicals opportunity, and they easily convert within just 3 throws to take their first lead of the night and punch in their first break score. And Dremin's having an absolute career year for the Union, one of the best deep throwers in the entire association. He's got that huge backhand that he can just kind of access almost anywhere and with infinite range. And here he carves a nice flick into space for a wide open Weiss. Taken over the opening throw. He's been absent for several games, nursing a foot injury. And Sample, the big man, going up into space. It's hard to contest him when he can reel it in overhead. Stands at 6'8". And Luo cashes in the fast break score to Jack Nelson. And a nice back and forth rhythm we've got. And Dremin taking over in the center of the field. Madison putting on a bit of a double team. You'll also notice out there running around in the number 15 jersey in blue, Kai DiLorenzo. Team did not expect him to be back this year, but we'll take a break from that to report that Wilson Matthews gets the score and the quick response for Chicago. Couldn't even get through that real quick anecdote about. You're just tuning in here, he will not hesitate to throw that over-the-top hammer pretty much anywhere within the half-field line. Speaking of somebody with range, Shanahan testing Matthews out against Marks. Marks putting body into him. Matthews returning the favor, but Marks getting a very key. Trails only Kai Marcus on the team. And total completed hucks there. Robert looking for Kanaki into space. That's the second break, folks. So we'll be interesting to see if Madison kind of tries to do a 2-for-1 scenario here with this offensive possession, or if they will just kind of elect to bleed clock. I'm interrupted by another B-Hart hammer, but there's a big block from Nick Pappas. Jack Nelson, the intended receiver, but just a little too much flow. Real thunder and lightning kind of combo. Drummond stretching the field with his big throws. Kaminsky being such a rock around the disc. Weber hunting there with a lot of contact, no whistle. Drummond shrugs it off, pumps the deep throw, and absolutely perfect pace on that one. Chicago gets their first break score of the night and pulls within 1. For the Radicals, Union underway of their first drive on offense of the second quarter. Shanahan ripping that flick, maybe the best in the entire division, easily has the pace on it for Baker downfield, and he jumps right into the end zone, making it look too easy there for the opening Chicago hold.
I think Cullen Baker might have been a bit surprised. We haven't talked about Jack Nelson too much, but he's a guy who can get loose very quickly in the end zone. Looked like there was a bit of a tag and then reset from Nick Pappas to Jake Rubenmiller on Nelson, who's now hunting back at the end zone line.
Astrom hunting out there, but a little too aggressive. Didn't stick close enough to Gumby, and he's going to find his way into the end zone as he's done all season long. Trying to make his way onto that active 20 should the Radicals finally end this postseason stretch, but a miscommunication there. And that disc is out of the hand and moving elsewhere on the field. No chance for Chicago to settle in a mark here. So Radicals are within the red zone again. Gutowski, front cone. That's the textbook play for the Radicals as they take a 5-goal lead here with 5:47 to play in the opening half. It's just striking to me how many possessions here. Madison is pushing the disc back, and McCarthy gets a hand on it at midfield. No signs of a timeout being called. Robert on the doorstep, no adversity there, throwing in for Marks.
Yeah, I won't say that loss to Detroit shook them up, but they looked so good early in the season, and they have such talent on their team. Did Wilson Matthews
get top gear there from Matthews, but Leapforth getting in the way.
I wonder about that, because if I was Dave Woods in the timeout, I would have said our only objective is to score on this possession. But now Madison with enough time to work the disc down the field if they want it, and they've got runners.
5 seconds under it. Gutowski, not normally the thrower, but finding range on this one. Multiple targets underneath, and a big grab over the pack from Luke Marks as the sideline erupts.
Luke Marks was running by himself down the left sideline, and I was looking to see if anybody was going to come over and pick him up. And once the throw came down there, he'd had so much time to orient himself and not have anybody running with him that he was.
It was 6-5 Madison in the first quarter, and it was 7-1 all Radicals in the second. But the first two scores here, the third, belong to the visitors, and Astrom to the ceiling.
And can afford the luxury of slowing things down, but if they break a mark, you're going to see them put one long.
Schreiweiss tracking that one down into space, keeping his momentum to a streaking Gumby. He accelerates for the score, and an important Madison hold as they push back to a 6-goal lead. Well, and it looked like that again after the first quarter. Chicago trailing just 6-5. But Union scoring just 3 goals in the quarter plus since. Another turnover in transition. Quick strike ability from Mac Weber to Pierre Robert, the rookie sensation who has been punching in handfuls of breaks for this Madison team all season long. As Matthews gets it up to Kaminsky, trapped on that far sideline, looking to get it back across the width of the field, and Weiss wide open, pleading with anybody to find him. Kaminsky does over the top with a hammer. And the Union respond quickly. What do you want to see from them here in the waning moments? What can they salvage, as it looks like that Weiss attempt is going to flow too far out, but Drummond with an absolutely incredible... Look at this one, folks. Ooh, I don't know if he actually had his
like
legs
his knee
still
was
up.
down.
Yeah, I got so excited for just the momentum of that play, but it does look like on replay, he might have not had himself totally in bounds. 11 blocks per game here tonight, just 4.
Yeah, we haven't called Jake Ruben Miller's name at all, and he's in the top 10 in blocks, and that's just a testament as Madison going to get another score here.
Linchpin in this Union season, and yet this loss here tonight, the home loss to Pittsburgh, there's just been some tough pills to swallow for a Union team that is, again, looking for their 5th straight playoff appearance. Gutowski going absolute slip and slide mode.
And what they've been able to do in terms of getting quality talent on their teams, is that's going to be the final horn.
And that will wrap up the 21-13 crushing blow defeat.